What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about EDP445, which is a situation I never thought that we would be talking about again. I kind of figured that after everything that unfolded, he would kind of just disappear from the face of the internet. We would never really be seeing or hearing from him ever again. Honestly, I kind of figured that he would probably end up in jail at some point, given everything that kind of unfolded and whatnot, but unfortunately, that does not seem to be the case. There was a confirmation from police that they were looking into the matter, but there has, at this point, seems like been no charges or anything that have been filed, and it's starting to look like the likelihood of charges or any sort of real repercussions being brought against EDP445 are starting to get pretty slim. And just recently, EDP445 announced over on Facebook that he will be making his grand return to the internet with his own website to return to his old video type, I guess. If you didn't know, EDP445's YouTube channel has been permanently removed from YouTube. If you try to go to the page that housed his channel at one point, it gives you a 404 not found error, and pretty much all of his content is gone too, unless you can find re-uploads of it or something like that. Before we get any further into the video, I just want to say that nearly half of you watching have yet to subscribe. I try to post multiple videos per day to keep you entertained, so consider leaving a like to help support and subscribe with notifications on so you never miss anything. Also, all of my socials are on the screen right now, so consider leaving a follow on these for more awesome content, and also consider grabbing a shirt if you're really awesome. Now to the rest of the video. But yes, EDP445 is trying to make a return to the internet, so if you are somehow painfully unaware of what happened with this entire situation, EDP445 was a YouTuber known for his rants about sports teams, the Philadelphia Eagles being the primary one, and other things going on that he was opinionated about or just felt the need to make videos about. He was known for being vulgar, over the top at times, and just blatantly kind of acting like a goof-ass. And he garnered a pretty loyal fan base around himself over time. But unfortunately, a channel by the name of Chet Goldstein ended up exposing EDP445 for being a child predator when they dropped a near 50-minute long video where they exposed EDP445 with dozens of screenshots showing him having extremely graphic conversations and exchanges with what he believed to be a 13-year-old child. Throughout this 50-minute expose video, he openly admitted that he had had these types of run-ins with other children before, that he basically had an attraction to minors, and it was more than apparent that he was there to meet up with this 13-year-old for pretty disgusting purposes. The video is pretty sad. I mean, it's a definite fall from grace, and honestly, it's a good thing that he was caught the way that he was, because God only knows what could have happened to an innocent child had this been, I guess, a situation that wasn't the predator poachers. Now keep in mind, these predator poachers aren't necessarily innocent people whatsoever. In fact, it was exposed that the person behind predator poachers and the whole Chet Goldstein thing was actually a guy who would say some pretty racist and disgusting shit in and of itself. He would constantly make disgusting jokes about children, and he also was exposed for honestly, just a laundry list of other disturbing and disgusting things. He is absolutely far from a respectful or respectable human being. And it kind of sucks because in a way I feel like Chet Goldstein and the fact that it was the person behind, this entire investigation that really kind of compromised this whole thing. Because if this was done more professionally and it was actually done by people who genuinely cared about the issue at hand and actually cared about catching a predator and not making money from it, then it's a lot more likely that charges could have come out of this. The evidence was not handled properly. Police were not gotten into the situation properly by any stretch of the imagination. And it all has kind of led us to where we're at now, where EDP445 has come back to the internet and is basically trying to pretend like nothing ever happened. So EDP445 created a Facebook page that currently has, as of me recording this audio, nearly 6,000 followers. He also uploaded a very short video in which he announced a future website coming and claims, quote, "The movement will continue." Yes, that you're totally right, folks. The EDP445 movement will continue. The man caught, trying to meet up with a 13-year-old's movement will continue because, well, of course it will, right?
All right, motherfucker, was cracking with it. It's your boy, and eat that 445. So, just want to let you guys know, man, EDP445.com is coming soon. Been about like a week, maybe 2 weeks from now. I'm going to have a website up and popping and shit, that's where I'm going to be posting all of my new videos and shit, over there up on the website. You know what I mean? Continuing to eat that movement, letting big ass motherfuckers feel it, and straight whipping our fuck. You feel me? So with that being said, man, EDP445.com. It's coming soon. website is gonna be crack-a-lacking. Fuck niggas know about that bullshit.
Now, as you can see from that video, if you've ever seen an EDP445 video before, he's right back into his normal persona, pretending that nothing happened whatsoever. By the way that he's behaving in this video, you never would have imagined that just, a week ago, basically, he was known as, the biggest pedophile on the internet, if we're being in complete honesty here. Basically pretending like his whole career and life haven't completely been destroyed by this entire situation. Now, obviously, most people are still not going for it. They're not exactly happy to see him return, but of course, there are still going to be people who, of course, they don't know that this happened, or they still support him through it. These kinds of things are not only possible, but they're probable. And I think that that's a very dangerous thing, right? Because when you have somebody who has done something like what he's done, and we're not talking about somebody who did something simple and innocent here. We're talking about somebody who got caught literally on video trying to meet up with a 13-year-old girl, caught in dozens of screenshots and messages, having horrible, disgusting conversations with what he thought to be a child, saying some very foul and horrible things, sending pictures that I wish I never had to see, and saying things I wish I never had to read. But yet he thinks he's just going to kind of wander, I guess, back onto the internet. Nothing's going to happen to him. I guess people are supposed to just forget the past, right? People are supposed to forget that this is the kind of person that he is. And another thing I want to point out is if you actually took the time to watch, I guess, any of the clips or the video itself, I guess, of EDP445 and the Predator Poachers kind of having their little showdown or whatever, you'll notice that EDP was very quiet. He was very reserved throughout all of that. He was clearly intimidated and scared. He attempted to run away from the situation multiple times. He completely submitted to them. In all reality, he seemed like a total pussy when he was in that video. He answered pretty much any question that they gave to him. And let's be honest, these weren't the most intimidating people on planet Earth. It's not like he had 3 Dwayne "The Rock" Johnsons standing in front of him. But he was completely submissive, and he acted like a total bitch, and he was quiet. But then you see him come out on these videos and whatnot, and he acts like this hard ass, he's saying all this crazy stuff, and, he's playing a persona, is what it is. And I think it's pretty obvious. Because the real EDP445 came out with that Predator Poachers expose, right? And let me just take the time to say this here, that guy behind the Predator Poachers or whatever, right? Just because he's a piece of shit doesn't mean that EDP445 is able to get away with what he did. And just because one did something worse than the other doesn't mean that you can't say anything about either. Yeah, what EDP did was obviously much further and much more disgusting, but he's gotten away largely because of what happened surrounding this whole Chet Goldstein thing. When they started getting exposed for everything, when they started getting exposed for once again, the laundry list of different things that have been brought up against them, that's when, I guess, EDP maybe saw an opportunity to come back, right? Because it's well, if they're not credible, then I can kind of step back in, and I don't think that's the way it should be. They're both bad people, and they both should be called out for their behavior, but EDP should not be allowed to return to the internet. This is one of those instances in which cancel culture, I think, is an okay thing, because this is somebody who's a legitimate threat to society, right? They don't have just a mere difference of opinions. Nothing like that, man. This is someone who actually went out of their way to try and harm a child. You know what I'm saying? And that's unacceptable. But back to what I was saying just a second ago, the real EDP445 has kind of been exposed through this whole thing, right? Because, sure, when he's in these videos, he wants to pretend that he's a completely different person than he is, right? And that's okay. Everybody thought he was this lovable, funny guy, and he turned out to be a disgusting fucking person who can't be trusted. And, things like that, unfortunately, they happen, and we see situations like this, and I don't know if anyone necessarily expected this to kind of happen. I guess if you know about the previous situation where he was accused, last summer or something, of something like this happening, maybe you did, but there shouldn't be a second opportunity for something like this. Once these kinds of colors get shown, man, once these true colors show through, and these personality traits become apparent, and this is what we realize you as now, there should be no second chances. So yeah, he's going to build this website or whatever, and he's going to try and run back to the internet, and he's going to try and build a following again, and he's going to try and get his money back, I guess, from all this. He'll probably start a Patreon or something, or try to start some sort of subscription service or a way to donate money to him. And the thing is, some people probably will do it, because, let's be honest, EDP has very loyal supporters. And there are going to be the very few people out there that will defend him, or people who just don't know about the situation. But I don't think this is one of these situations that we should all just up and forget. I don't know. Maybe I just am overthinking this. I don't think so. I really don't understand why this isn't going to seem to be more of an issue. but I definitely wanted to kind of report on it. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shop Opti down below. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, not supporting EDP, and signing out.